Hey everybody, welcome to the Red Cartel podcast. We're going to do a quick podcast today, just because the news has broken today that Rodri will be out for the rest of the season with an ACL injury that he picked up in the Arsenal Man City game last week. Thought it might be a good chance for me, an Arsenal fan, Leon, a Liverpool fan, just to discuss the injury, how we think the how it's going to affect that title race, and yeah, just to give our brief thoughts. So, Leon, just to set some background. So, obviously, as I mentioned, Rodri was injured. He's had surgery this morning on an ACL, and Guardiola has said next season will be here, but this season is over for him. How much do you think that's going to affect Man City? Do you think they can just soak up that loss of Rodri?
No, definitely not. He's arguably all round. He's probably the best player in the world at the moment, or at least in his position, and possibly even just in midfield, and then possibly just the best player. I don't know for sure. All I know is what he brings to Man City, what he can deliver in both defence and attack. He's not just a six that sits. He's the complete midfielder. It's annoying because he's amazing. He is absolutely fantastic player. And no one can lose a player of that quality. City are probably the best equipped, or should be, to deal with that. They lost, I think, 4 out of 5 games last season when he didn't play. So that's like an 80% chance of losing. I actually heard on another podcast I was listening to before that perhaps it might also have been to do with De Bruyne and Rodri being out. And De Bruyne's injured at the moment on his way back. So they might struggle for the next 3 to 5 games. They're lucky that an international break is coming up, that they might be able to get a few people trained up. Trained up is the wrong phrase, but tactically because all their players in midfield, right, they definitely have the tactical acumen to actually do not Rodri's job exactly, but they could do it, right? They're just not
Yeah,
well. So I think, for me, that personally puts Arsenal as favourites to win the title now.
yeah. I already had, for me, Arsenal were my favourites, obviously, to win the title. But it was just more about it was going to be the background noise of the 130 charges, formerly 115, I think it's 130 now, charges that they were going to have to defend for the next couple of months, which would have taken a lot of air out of the room for Guardiola. And I thought that would have affected them enough that they were probably going to finish second, probably third. I think they'll finish third now. I think Rodri going is a massive thing for them. I take on board, yeah. I think he probably is he's obviously the best player in his position. He's probably one of the most influential players for any team in the league as well, in the confidence that they get from being able to build up through Rodri. I think it's going to be a challenge, especially with De Bruyne injured at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been having a look at their fixtures, and they've got some gimmies. This is I swear I don't know where their hard fixtures are. I think they don't start to have them till December. But they've got coming up in the league. Fulham, Wolves, and Southampton. That's their October. So really, Rodri shouldn't affect them on that. And then their November this can't be the full list. Is it? Oh, is there an international break in November?
Not October.
November at the moment they've got Bournemouth, Brighton, and Spurs in their November fixture list. So
Maybe
they
there is
should
right then. I don't know.
they should have enough. This is BBC Sport I'm looking at. Maybe they haven't filled all their fixtures up yet, but they should have enough not to really feel it much. But the fact that he's out all season means that they're going to have to come to the Emirates without Rodri. They're going to have to go to Anfield without Rodri. They're going to have to go to Old Trafford without Rodri. They haven't
years.
played United yet, have they?
I think they did. They not play them at the Etihad and beat them. I mean, it shows how good we are, doesn't it?
Oh no, I mean, we're doing basically a podcast on Man City, and we haven't actually have a clue what their
I
their
don't know.
results are. No, they no. I mean, it goes to what I thought is that Man City have played no one apart from Arsenal this season in terms of
No,
quality. They had Chelsea, didn't they, at the beginning? So they've got to go to all these big grounds without their star. I just think it more than they'll miss Rodri is that teams now coming to Man City and playing against Man City will suddenly no longer have a mentality of how can I concede as least as possible to start saying we've got a chance here to get a result. And I think once teams start to come to Man City and do that and they lose that aura, then that's probably more likely to challenge them. And maybe that might explain the whole kind of 84 out of 5 losses without Rodri last season. That teams were coming up and saying, "Oh, we have a potential to win the midfield battle now, so we can go out and try and attack." Whereas with Rodri, they kind of thought we're not going to win this battle, and let's try and sit back and soak up as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to. I imagine, even for a Man City fan, it's difficult to explain the influence exactly that Rodri does have on the game. And you're right, because I remember, I think it was Ian Wright talking about Thierry Henry in a very similar way. And he was saying, like, I know that Wright sort of left just as Henry was coming in, but he noticed that if he didn't play, it would be more like the rest of the team takes a huge hit because you don't have that guy who's like, if it gets bad, he's going to pull us out. And it's the same with Rodri. If it comes on top of us, it's all good. We got him. Now they don't have him.
Yeah. So you're waiting for the other players now to step up, and they've got enough players in their teams that are excellent players that should be able to cover. But strangely, and I was saying this to you earlier, Leon, it's strange that Man City like a team like Man City can be so vulnerable to a player not coming into the team. Like because of the amount of money that they can go and spend, because of the amount of players that they have in their squad that are actual like championship, like not championship, sorry,
Oh, I know what you mean. Champions League,
like
top of the
as
table.
like Champions League level, like top 2 level in teams in the Premier League. They have so many of those. You would expect them to have a Rodri light in there, but I think who have they got to really look at now is I can never say his name.
Kovacic.
Kovacic, and that's it really to kind of fill that hole.
Maybe John Stones. Like he played there a little bit when Rodri was injured last time.
Yeah,
He didn't do very well, did he? Clearly, but him.
yeah, maybe, but then it's kind of square pegged round hole kind of thing. Whereas the actual like for like replacement, you've got Kovacic,
And that's it.
and that's it. And he doesn't. I mean, I know you're a big fan of him. I know you really like him. I didn't watch enough of him at Real Madrid to build up any sort of enjoyment out of him. I just saw him come straight to Chelsea and then Man City. So, but I just don't. I think there's going to be such a drop off in their
Not,
play.
yeah, he's not. He's not. The difference is he's not 6'5" or whatever Rodri is, and built like a tank, and he doesn't have the same. He might have the same calmness on the ball, but he doesn't have the same pass selection. I'm not saying he can't do
Yeah,
what Rodri does. He probably could. The same as like Declan Rice could easily be just like Rodri, Declan Rice, Rodri, but they select different passes and they select different things, not just because Pep told them to. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So you've got to take his personality, is what I'm trying to get at. His personality, his joie de vivre, if you want to call it that. Like he's not in the team anymore, and that's knowing from playing football myself. I was about to say, when I didn't play, players felt like they didn't. But we had funnily enough, we had a particular central midfielder who was a tank. He was a tank himself. Big unit, large, good in the air, strong on the ball, never really lost the ball. Similar, not really like Rodri, because I played at low level, obviously, but when you don't have that, you feel more, I don't even want to say nervous, I want to say scared. Or
Yeah,
scared going into battle without your prime gladiator. And he's the
yeah,
guy who's gonna, when it goes off, he's gonna put his shield and spear in first. Right, I'm in. And now they don't have that. And Guardiola loves a player like that. Do you know what I mean? He loves him. And now he doesn't have him. So what's he going to do? It'd be interesting to see. They'll probably buy a £750 million player in January just to, put him in there.
yeah. They'll probably get the old Zeba, the guy that you tried to get. They'll just bring him in Jan.
Yeah, which would be annoying because
Yeah.
he now wants to come to Liverpool as well after we started winning. So
Oh, and then Real Sociedad started to do atrociously in the league. So, but yeah, I agree, mate. I think it's not just Rodri the player that they've lost. They've lost the aura of what Rodri brings, and obviously the pundits go on about how Rodri is, and how he's never loses for Man City, and it builds up a narrative that he almost rises him above just the best player in his position to something else, and that must affect opposition players because if you're an opposition player and you play football, you probably quite like football, so you probably are very interested in football. And if all you hear, you're coming up to Man City, you hear like pundits just talk about this aura of Rodri, you're already losing before you stepped onto the pitch. And I think, Man City losing that will definitely bring them closer to teams that they were just destroying beforehand. And it's no one wants. I wouldn't want. I'd much rather Man City had Rodri and De Bruyne fit all seasons and see how Arsenal go about it. But it definitely is it definitely gives Arsenal and Liverpool, I think, an upper hand in the belief that they can go out and win the title of Man City.
I'm going to say two things here. One is what Gary Neville said, and Gary Neville said that I can't wait to see what Pep comes up with, and he'll definitely create something, some madness that'll move somebody else, a player, into a different position. And I'm just like, to me, I'm not saying that Pep's not amazing. He's probably the best manager that's ever been, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's one of them, and he does come up with stuff like that and get it right, and it's brilliant. But I don't see, if I got a plumber into my house and he doesn't have the right tool to do the job and he comes up with a creative solution, I'm not lauding that plumber as the man who saved the day. I'm saying he should have had the thing ready that he needed to have to fix my sink. Like, that's just not that. So to praise somebody for that is like ludicrous. To say he's good at adapting, nice one. That's great. Like, good. You need that. You need to be agile and maneuverable, but not like that. And the second thing is like, why is it when like Liverpool lost Virgil van Dijk and like say again, I can't, if Arsenal lost Saliba, or when back in the day you lost Thierry Henry, it's like brushed under the carpet almost, like, oh, that's not the reason why like they're losing and all that. And then City, it's like before they've even lost, it's like, well, they're going to lose without Rodri, create this quick narrative about that. And so when they do lose, you go, see, look, everyone would be bad without Rodri. And it's just like, you have spent so much money and yet you haven't had the forethought to buy. You can't replace Rodri, but you can buy a replacement.
Yeah. Oh, I was just thinking, Leon, do you reckon they'll bring back Kelvin Phillips, mate? That's his time to shine.
He's probably injured again, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, probably.
Me doing ACL. So let's not bring back ACL to replace ACL, man. Like, and also, it's about 9 months, maybe longer, to recover properly from an ACL, even with today's technology.
Yeah, I mean, Timber did his ACL at the beginning of last season, and then he was basically being eased back. He's being eased back into the team this season. So, 12 months.
Yeah, and even then, it's still going to take him probably up to Christmas to show how he really is. Because you're not going to be as you just know you're not. Oh, I don't want to overstretch. Oh, I don't want to go in for that tackle. The tackles you were making before, you're just
Yeah,
going in.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you're holding back. You're holding back and holding back, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what about Rodri. We got a big chance now, and I think we got a chance of challenging you for the league, but I just don't think we'll have the legs. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking about the Liverpool challenge, and I need to see Liverpool play like
Man City.
Newcastle, Man City, Arsenal,
Mhm.
Chelsea, like Chelsea now, like because
Yeah.
you really, apart from Man United, which is your kind of customary 3 points for the season, you've played, I would
Um,
say, somewhat like the a lot of the bottom seven teams.
yeah, and I
Um,
would say the AC Milan game in the Champions League, I hope is a good indicator. I'm looking at it like that, but I don't know. A good indicator, even though Serie A isn't that good,
but
and
it's still
AC
AC Milan. It's
exactly.
still the name, and when we were talking about Rodri being that aura, like more than the footballer, the name AC Milan is more than the football club, right?
And I'm
It's
telling you now, if Slot and Arteta aren't sat there at home thinking Rodri's gone, boys, less less like because if we lost Virgil van Dijk and you lost Saliba this season, I would be thinking the same thing about my own club, going, "Oh no,
oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
oh no, what's like that's because it doesn't just remove them and not just even their aura, everything. It's all different." So yeah,
Well, Leon, mate, you talked about like brushing it under the carpet, and the narrative already is about Rodri. They lost Rodri, it's going to be really hard for them to win the title and something. Look, the first season Arsenal challenged, we lost Saliba for the last 10 games. We had Rob Holding that came in. Like
yep,
I love Rob. I love Rob Holding. What like honestly love him. No, I will defend him. He's a very very good box defender for a club that is going to always play a very low block. Like as soon as you try and go high with Rob, it, he's so slow that the defense just destroys him. But we had the same thing with Saliba, and then everyone just said, "Oh, you bottled the league." We lost Saliba.
yep.
Um, we lost Saliba. As you see in the corner of my door, my dog's just popped up.
Bus.
Hello, Bus.
Buster.
But yeah, it's going to be a really strange one and a good one, and I'm looking to see kind of where Man City are in the next 5 or 6 games. But I have looked, obviously, looking at their fixtures, they should be winning these games without.
We'll see with Newcastle. Let's hope Newcastle put one on them because they've got at least the potential to give them a bloody nose. We'll see what
Yes,
happens there.
yeah, no, I think so. I mean, do you think? So you think now it's Arsenal's to lose? This will be the next narrative. It's Arsenal's to lose. It's Arsenal's to lose.
No. Because although I think that this is what I thought before, even though I think Arsenal were going to win the league, I think reality is City were here.
Yeah,
Now after the City Arsenal game, I thought, oh, it's actually a lot closer. Now without Rodri, I think it's like gone from here to here. I think you'll win the league by 7 points or more.
okay. I mean, yeah, I was very much. I thought Arsenal and Man City were going into this season not as equals because Man City have won so many titles and they've won so many things, but man for man on that pitch, I would say it's a 5-4. Sorry, a 5-6 kind of. If you went up and said like people like to do, it's Raya versus Ederson. It's
Yeah, yeah.
I reckon it's a kind of a 5-6 if you're not being biased out. But like
Yeah,
I
I think so. Maybe
I
seven,
think
but that'd
look,
be
I think start this season. I reckon Arsenal had if it was just Arsenal versus Man City, it's a 50-50 shot for me at the beginning of the season. And obviously, I'd love Arsenal, so I'd say Arsenal. But now I think after seeing Man City's game against Arsenal and Michael Oliver robbing the Premier League of what I think would have been the best game of the whole season at 2-1 going into halftime. But after seeing that match, I'm much more confident that Arsenal can can take the league off them. And of course, I think they're gonna have at least 30 points docked from them this season anyway. So they were never going to win it. So.
For me, it's a 50% chance Arsenal will win it. It's a 35% chance that Man City will win it. And then a 15 to 20% chance that Liverpool win it. Maybe even smaller than that for Liverpool because of...
I think Liverpool got a bigger chance than that, to be honest. And I think that they are flying under the radar.
That's a good thing, I suppose.
They are very, very, very good at attacking this season. And they will score a lot of goals.
We did that last season.
Yeah, but you seem to have a tiny bit more nous at the back this season in terms of kind of Van Dijk's playing extremely well. It doesn't seem to matter who he's playing with. You seem to rotate that partner with him. Alisson's being Alisson. Trent seems
as well now. He's had his injury, because he's now back this game or next game. He's missed 4 games. So yeah, you're not wrong. Everything's stacking up in our favour in that sense. I just think that when we play you, that's when I'll find out if we're going to be in a title race or not, because that game will actually it will define the season. It's how we approach the game and how we play you. If we're in it and it's tight and one of us wins by 1 goal, maybe 2 goals, I'd say, yeah, all right, we're in it. But then we're in it. But if we get destroyed and swept apart by you 3-4-0, then even at the Emirates, then that's over. That's not good enough. You can't be doing that.
No, I don't think that will ever happen. I don't think even if Liverpool are battling relegation and Arsenal are winning the league, I don't think Arsenal will ever turn you over, just because, again, I always have this thing about the name. Arsenal seem to play the name of the club a lot rather than the 11 men on the pitch. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be 9th or 10th game of the season. Everyone's kind of settled in. The international breaks have been over. They're no longer there for the next kind of 3 or 4 months. It's going to be such an interesting game. Your attack versus our defence, our attack versus your defence. I mean, they're on par. I mean, I think we have the best defence and you have the best attack, and I think we have kind of 3rd or 4th best attack and you kind of have 3rd or 4th best defence. They'll be so evenly matched, I think, and it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. And one thing, the last thing that I will say about it is earlier on you said I don't wish injury upon Rodri, and nor do I. I don't, and you wish they had Rodri and De Bruyne and see how you do. I don't. I hope they have none of their stars for the entire season, and I will celebrate them. I know you shouldn't celebrate an injury, but it's reality. That's what happened. It's not like I made it happen. And all I'm saying is, good. My rivals have been weakened. That's what I want, isn't it?
Well, of course, you're happy the weakness is there, but you're not obviously happy that a player, especially someone like Rodri, that have been quite upfront about the fact that players are being asked to do too much. People are going to be injured a lot, and then the next game after he's been talking about it, he goes and has an ACL. Maybe he was feeling something in the first place and was like, I'm feeling something in my knee, something's going to happen.
I agree. Again, I don't want to start a whole new conversation about that, but all I'm going to say is I am fed up with hearing about this. There is too much football. I get it, right? But then it's down to the managers or the players then, because they're playing the players. Again, you just played Bolton and played 7 or 6 of the same players from the last game. If Arteta came out and said, it's too many games, I'd be like, you could have probably not played Saka for 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Game if you wanted to, and Declan Rice. I'm not saying Arteta's not even saying that. Pep and players are saying it. But that's weird, isn't it? Don't play then.
Yeah.
Man City have got a squad, man.
Yeah, I just think it's so competitive that you cannot afford not to play your best 11 available players every game in the Premier League. I think other leagues you can. With Real Madrid, they can choose not to play their best 11 players in probably 40 to 50% of their games, and they still have a very good chance of winning those bits. But I get your point. It's kind of like, this is what you signed up for, guys. If you want to keep getting your pay rises, the money's got to come from somewhere.
Solve
And
the
that,
problem.
yeah. So
Again, it's the same thing. If a company came to you and said, "Oh my God, I'm getting too many jobs, too much money. There's so many jobs, I can't do them." Wouldn't you go, "Boo hoo! Oh no!" Like,
yeah,
oh God, you've got to outsource it and make slightly less money. Oh, no. And so, in the same way, it's like Man City specifically as well. They spent so much money on players. If they're complaining, then like they need to sort their head out.
yeah. Well, I suppose it was more Rodri that was complaining rather than Man City, but yeah, we've gone off on another tangent as our standard tangent going off does. So yeah, no, I mean we'll call it a day. It was just going to be a very quick chat about the Rodri injury. I think we're both in agreement, right, Leon, that
Yep.
it's going to really affect them.
Yeah.
And
Huge effect.
yeah, and for me, I'm going out on the limb. I'm saying Man City are third this season.
I don't know yet, but I will say that they won't get 90 points now.
No, well, yeah, I don't think it's not going to be a season of you need 95 points to win this league. I think, but again, like I'll go off on a tangent. I don't think there's been a season like that for the last 3 or 4 seasons that you've needed that, or two. Like, I don't. At Liverpool,
It's been 90 odd points plus for the last 5 seasons, hasn't it though?
the season before, what they didn't get if they did get 90 plus, no, they got like 89 points. I think 91 points. There hasn't been since that 99, 97, 98 or whatever 98, 99 point league there hasn't been another one of those for.
No, there were like 3 or 4 in a row, wasn't it? It was where we finished on 97, Man City 98, 98, 97, 99, the Centurion season, and us finishing on 90 something, and then us winning it with 97.
Yeah, but even when you won it at 90 with 97, what did Man City were like massively behind you? Did they even finish second that season?
Yeah, they were like 10 points behind or something like
Yeah,
that.
but as in so Liverpool could have won it with 89 points that season.
Yeah.
As in what you could have won it with. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to put a new twist on the season. It'll give the pundits a nice narrative to talk about why Arsenal or Liverpool, when we eventually do win the league, shouldn't have won. It's not the same league.
Asterisks, all that crap again.
Yeah.
Anyway, Man City one, shall we? Eh?
Oh well, I'm hoping if they do get found guilty, I don't want Arsenal or Liverpool or Man United or Chelsea or whatever to get the titles because it's pointless. Just have a big asterisk on every single one saying Man City won this by financially doping and cheating the system. That's what it should be on every single thing.
Agreed.
But yeah, guys, we thought we'd just give our point of view on kind of the Rodri injury. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, you want to add your thoughts on the Rodri injury, put them in the chat below, in the comments section below. As always, give us a like, give us a subscribe. It really does help. And we look forward to speaking again early next week to discuss the outcomes of this weekend's Premier League games.
Yeah, all right. See you later, guys.